The arrival. The Andrax galaxy had always been a realm of vast wonders and merciless challenges. Among the swirling stars and the drifting nebulae, countless civilizations had risen and fallen, each leaving a mark on the cosmic canvas. Yet none had faced a species like humans. The starship Vera cut through the endless darkness of space with silent precision. Its metallic hull gleamed faintly under the light of distant suns, reflecting the countless stars as though they were guiding the way. On board, Captain Kalen stood at the observation deck, his blue eyes scanning the ever-approaching planet below. Zalara, he murmured, the name tasting foreign yet familiar on his tongue. The planet's surface was a shifting mosaic of jagged mountains, sprawling forests, and rivers that glowed faintly with bioluminescent algae. The human crew around him moved with quiet efficiency, each absorbed in their preparations for landing. Commander Ryler, a towering figure with scaled violet skin and eyes that shimmered like liquid silver, stood on the bridge of the Xylan observation ship Orvax. He had been watching the humans for months, ever since their probe ships had entered the outer reaches of the Andrax galaxy. The Xylan were one of the most advanced species in the galaxy, calculating, disciplined, and utterly convinced of their superiority. These humans, Ryler said, his voice carrying a trace of amusement as he addressed his council. Primitive. Fragile. They believe they can survive here. His deputy, Counselor Vintra, shook her head. They will fail. No species lacking our technological sophistication could endure Zolara's storms or its radiation fields. Even if they land, they will not last a week. Ryler allowed himself a low, sarcastic chuckle. Let them come. It will be entertaining to watch. The Vera entered Zolara's upper atmosphere with controlled grace, its engines roaring faintly as the gravity wells tugged insistently. Below, the planet's surface seemed alive, a seething, unpredictable mass of energy and terrain. Kalen's hands rested lightly on the control console, though he didn't touch it. He had entrusted the landing to the ship's advanced autopilot. Instead, he surveyed the crew. Check all systems, he commanded. Energy shields at full capacity. Environmental suits online. We touched down in 20 minutes. Leora, the human science officer, adjusted her glasses and nodded. Atmosphere readings stable. Radiation levels within tolerance. Minimal magnetic interference. We're ready. Kalen nodded slowly, a faint smile tugging at his lips. Remember, no assumptions. We don't know how the locals will react. Move carefully, but be prepared for anything. On Zolara, the Xylan observers could see the humans descending. Tiny figures moved across the landscape as the Vera lowered itself to a plateau of obsidian rock. The humans' landing craft made a soft hiss as it touched the ground, releasing a plume of glowing dust that drifted lazily into the wind. Ryler's silver eyes narrowed. Look at them. They step onto that rock as if it were their home. How bold. Vintra snorted. Foolish, more likely. They are mortal. Fragile. One storm and they'll be gone. Yet the humans did not stumble. As the dust settled, the crew disembarked with practiced precision. Captain Kalen led the way, his environmental suit shimmering under Zolara's twin suns. Behind him were Leora, the science officer, Terran, the engineer, and a small contingent of human soldiers, each armed with adaptive weapons that could alter their energy output depending on the threat level. Kalen's gaze swept across the alien terrain. He could feel the subtle currents of Zolara's energy beneath the surface, an invisible force that could be harnessed with the right technology. He didn't yet know the full potential, but he felt it calling, almost as if the planet itself was testing them. Remember, Kalen said softly to his crew, we are observers first. Nothing more. We learn, we adapt, and we survive. The galaxy expects nothing less. Ryler, observing from afar, could hardly believe what he was seeing. The humans moved with a strange combination of caution and confidence, unlike any species he had encountered. Most intelligent life forms in the galaxy either rushed in recklessly or trembled with fear when faced with the unknown. Humans, it seemed, were neither. They adapt, Ryler muttered under his breath. They study, they endure, they change. His assistant, a sharp-eyed Xylan named Virax, tilted his head. Commander, should we intervene? Perhaps test their limits. Ryler's lips curled into a thin smile. No. Let them explore. Let them touch, move, breathe. We will see soon enough whether they are truly fragile, or something far more dangerous. On the plateau, humans began their work. Leora activated a portable scanner, sweeping the surrounding area. Energy readings are unusual, she noted. There's a deep source of high-density particles beneath the surface. It could power our equipment, or be weaponized if necessary. Terran crouched beside her, adjusting a small device that hummed softly. This planet, it's like a puzzle. Its storms, terrain, even the flora, they all interact in ways we've never seen. But I think we can use it to our advantage. Kalen observed quietly, making mental notes of every detail. The humans did not panic when small energy surges sparked nearby or when acidic rain began to fall. Instead, they adapted, raising shields, adjusting routes, using tools in ways the Xylan would never anticipate. Ryler's expression darkened as he watched. They are learning faster than I imagined. Impossible. No species should be able to adapt at this rate. As night fell on Zolara, the human crew set up temporary shelters that glowed softly under the twin moons. Kalen stood at the edge of the plateau, looking out over the alien horizon. The wind carried strange, musical tones from the forest below, a sound that was both haunting and beautiful. Tomorrow, he said to Leora and Terran, who joined him, we begin real exploration. We map the energy fields, analyze the fauna, and understand this world. The galaxy thinks we are weak. Let's show them what humans can do. Leora nodded. They won't expect it. Not now. Not ever. Terran smirked. Underestimation is our greatest weapon. From afar, Ryler's ship hovered silently above the clouds. The Xylan commander's mind raced. He had thought the humans would crumble within hours. But as he watched them move across the alien landscape, he realized that he might have underestimated the most dangerous species in the galaxy, not for their strength but for their ingenuity. The humans had arrived, and the Andrax galaxy had yet to understand what was coming. And somewhere deep in the cosmos, a warning whispered across star systems. Never underestimate humans. First contact. The morning on Zolara began with a pale violet sunrise, casting long shadows across jagged rock formations and luminescent forests. The air shimmered with energy, invisible currents dancing like ghostly ribbons, hinting at the planet's untamed power. On the plateau where the humans had landed, Captain Kalen surveyed the landscape. Every detail mattered: the angle of the sun, the humidity in the air, the subtle hum of energy underfoot. Leora, Kalen said, his voice calm but commanding, give me the latest scan of local life forms. I want every anomaly noted. Leora adjusted her portable scanner, a device capable of detecting not just physical life but bioelectric fields, magnetic anomalies, and even gravitational fluctuations. Her amber eyes widened as she analyzed the results. There's more life than we anticipated, she said. Not just flora and fauna but something else. Energy signatures, patterns that almost think. Not sentient but reactive. It's like the planet itself has awareness. Kalen's lips tightened in a faint smile. Good. That means it's a challenge. And humans thrive on challenges. Meanwhile, in orbit above Zolara, the Xylan fleet watched the human activity with growing concern. Ryler's eyes, usually cold and calculating, narrowed as he observed the crew's methodical movements. Commander, Virax, his second, said cautiously, they are moving with discipline. They are analyzing, not panicking. This is unusual. Ryler's scaled jaw flexed as he considered the scene. Unusual is an understatement. Most species would be cowering under this planet's radiation storms. These humans, they adapt. They survive. And they are learning faster than we anticipated. He leaned closer to the viewport, his silver eyes narrowing. Perhaps it is time for a small test. Nothing too aggressive, just enough to see how they respond. Back on the ground, the humans began their systematic survey of Zolara. Terran, the ship's engineer, crouched beside a crystalline outcrop, running his hand over the smooth, reflective surface. This isn't just mineral, he muttered. It's reactive. Touch it and it stores energy, releases it slowly over time. This could power our systems, or become a weapon if needed. Leora nodded, taking careful notes. It's like the planet is alive, Terran. Everything interacts. The soil, the water, even the air, it all has energy flowing through it. If we understand it, we can survive anywhere on this world. Kalen observed silently, aware of the larger picture. He knew that their true test wasn't the planet itself, it was the unseen observers watching them. The Xylan, confident and arrogant, assumed these humans would falter at the first sign of difficulty. They were about to discover the opposite. The first encounter with local life came unexpectedly. From the dense forest below, a creature emerged. It was massive, with 6 segmented legs, scales that shimmered like liquid silver, and eyes that glowed faintly red. Its head swiveled in all directions, scanning the humans with intelligence that was unnerving. Non-aggressive, for now, Leora said, stepping back cautiously. It's aware of us, but it's assessing rather than attacking. Kalen raised a hand, signaling calm. Observe. Do not engage unless necessary. Humans learn by observation before confrontation. Follow my lead. The creature advanced slowly, then paused, its movements deliberate and precise. Terran activated a small translator drone, sending out ultrasonic signals. The creature responded, not violently but with what could only be interpreted as curiosity. Kalen allowed a faint smile. See that? Even here, even now, humans adapt. We communicate, we negotiate, even with the unknown. The Xylan observers in orbit noted every movement, their earlier amusement giving way to unease. Commander, Virax said, his voice tight, they are interacting with the local fauna. Not just surviving, they are influencing it. That's not possible. No species has ever done this on Zolara. Ryler remained silent for a moment, his mind racing. Then he said, almost to himself, perhaps we have misjudged them. Perhaps humans are exceptional. He glanced at the Council's communication console, weighing the consequences. To intervene now could provoke them, but to wait might allow these humans to grow stronger. And that thought, uncomfortable as it was, made him uneasy. On the ground, the humans were making rapid progress. Leora and Terran worked together to set up energy harvesters, devices that could tap into Zolara's latent power. The devices glowed faintly, drawing energy from the planet in a controlled manner, lighting up their temporary camp with a soft ambient luminescence. Kalen watched his team, pride swelling silently. They expect weakness, he muttered. They think humans will fail because we are few. But they don't understand the human mind. Adaptation is in our nature. Challenge is our catalyst. The human success was not lost on the planet itself. Strange pulses of light danced along the crystalline rocks, responding to their presence. It was as if Zolara recognized the potential of its visitors, testing them, rewarding their ingenuity, encouraging them to push further. The first direct confrontation came when a small Xylan scouting drone entered Zolara's atmosphere, moving too close to the human encampment. The drone emitted a warning signal, a tone meant to intimidate and assert dominance. Most species would have panicked. Most species would have retreated or surrendered. Not humans. Kalen quickly analyzed the drone's signal patterns. It's simple, he said. We can neutralize it without destroying it. Terran, deploy the pulse disruptor. In seconds, a low-frequency pulse emitted from Terran's device. The drone faltered, its systems temporarily disabled, then hovered, seemingly observing rather than attacking. Leora shook her head in disbelief. They are learning faster than I imagined. Kalen's smile was faint but satisfied. And we're just getting started. From orbit, Ryler's expression hardened. This isn't supposed to happen, he whispered. They shouldn't be capable of this level of adaptation. No species, no civilization in the Andrax galaxy, learns this fast. They are unpredictable. Virax tilted his head, uneasy. Commander, what if we underestimated them? What if they are more than human? Ryler's gaze hardened. Then we prepare. Because if they continue like this, humans will not just survive, they will dominate. And the galaxy will take notice, too late. As the twin suns of Zolara rose higher, bathing the human encampment in golden light, Kalen stood at the edge of the plateau. His crew moved with quiet efficiency, setting up sensors, scanning for energy anomalies, and documenting every aspect of the alien world. He looked toward the horizon where jagged peaks met the glowing forests. The galaxy thinks we are weak, he said softly, addressing no one in particular. They think we are fragile. They think we will break under pressure. Let them watch. Let them learn our first lesson. Humans adapt, humans endure, humans prevail. And in the vast darkness of space, the Xylan watched, realizing for the first time that the beings before them were far more dangerous than anyone had imagined. The first contact was not a battle. It was a lesson, a revelation. Humans had arrived on Zolara, and the galaxy would never underestimate them again. The surprise attack. The calm of Zolara's morning was shattered without warning. A sudden tremor rippled through the plateau where the humans had established their camp. The twin suns reflected off the jagged crystals in strange, fractured patterns, making the terrain look alive. Kalen's sharp blue eyes caught the first signs, shadows streaking across the distant mountains, moving too deliberately to be natural. Everyone battle stations. Kalen ordered, his voice steady yet urgent. We have company. From above, small Xylan drones descended with silent precision, their sleek metallic forms cutting through the violet sky. They were armed with energy disruptors, weapons designed to disable life forms quickly. The humans had expected observation, maybe curiosity, but not a sudden strike. Leora adjusted her scanner frantically. "Captain, they're more organized than we anticipated. They're coordinating, targeting us." Kalen's jaw tightened. "Then let's show them what humans do when underestimated." The first wave of drones swooped down, firing precise bursts of energy at the human camp. Most species in the galaxy would have panicked under such an assault, retreating into cover or surrendering under fear. Humans did something else entirely. They adapted. Terran activated the energy shield they had built from the reactive crystals. A soft hum filled the air as the shield expanded in a dome over the camp, absorbing the incoming fire. Sparks danced along the shield's surface, reflecting the violet glow of Zolara's forests. "We're good for now," Terran shouted, adjusting the shield frequency. "But we need a countermeasure." Kalen's mind raced. The humans had trained for unpredictability, for moments when raw power could not win the day. He tapped into the data Leora had collected on the energy fields of Zolara. If harnessed correctly, they could turn the planet's own force against the attackers. "Leora, focus the pulsar rays on the eastern ridge," he commanded. "Terran, amplify the energy through the shields. Let's see how they like our welcome party." As the humans initiated their countermeasure, the first wave of drones collided with the amplified energy fields. Circuitry overloaded, weapons fried, and the drones spiraled out of control, crashing into the crystalline terrain. The Xylan fleet, observing from orbit, immediately realized the humans were doing more than defending themselves. They were learning, adapting, and retaliating. Ryler's silver eyes narrowed in disbelief. "Impossible," he muttered. "They should have been disabled instantly. Yet they are fighting back." Virax tilted his head, uneasy. "Commander, they are not just surviving. They are evolving their tactics in real time." Ryler's jaw tightened. "No species in the Andrax galaxy adapts this fast. Not in battle. Not ever. They are unpredictable. We must reconsider our assumptions." On the ground, Kalen led a tactical maneuver. Using their understanding of Zolara's energy fields, the humans created small zones of high-intensity energy that disrupted the drone's sensors and circuits. Soldiers moved strategically, dodging bursts of energy while guiding captured drones into their own lines, where Terran reprogrammed them for human use. "Each drone we capture makes us stronger," Kalen said, his voice carrying over the hum of battle. "They thought numbers would scare us. They were wrong." Even Leora, usually focused on science, found herself exhilarated. "Captain, they're learning from us, adapting our strategies as we adapt theirs. They're treating us like equals." Kalen's expression hardened. "Then let's make sure we teach them a lesson they won't forget." The tide of the surprise attack began to turn. What had started as a seemingly overwhelming assault became a showcase of human ingenuity. The Xylan drones, designed for speed and precision, were being systematically neutralized, captured, or repurposed. Every move the Xylan made, the humans countered within minutes. From orbit, Ryler gritted his teeth. "They are learning too fast. This should not be possible. Every pattern we predicted, they've already adapted around it." Virax, his wings quivering with tension, asked quietly, "Commander, are they evolving?" Ryler's eyes darkened. "No, they are humans. And humans are something else entirely. I underestimated them." Amid the chaos, a massive Xylan attack craft descended, its energy cannons primed to obliterate the human camp. Kalen did not flinch. Using the energy conduits Leora had identified beneath the plateau, he channeled a surge into the ground, creating a shockwave that destabilized the craft's landing. Its weapons misfired, and it tilted dangerously to one side before crashing into the crystalline formations below. Terran cheered. "That's how we handle surprises." Kalen allowed himself a brief smile, then turned to his team. "This isn't over. But they've learned something important today. Humans don't just endure, they adapt. And we don't just fight back, we win." By the time the Xylan retreat began, the humans had repelled every drone and disabled the larger attack craft. The plateau was scarred with the remnants of battle, but the human camp remained intact. The soldiers moved quickly to secure captured drones, repair shields, and analyze the performance of their countermeasures. Leora studied the battlefield carefully. "We've learned more in this attack than months of observation could have taught us. The Xylan, they assumed superiority, but every assumption they made was wrong." Kalen nodded, looking toward the horizon where the Xylan fleet had paused above the clouds. "They think this is just a skirmish. But it was our first lesson to the galaxy. Humans are not to be underestimated." Above Zolara, Ryler and the Xylan Council watched their once predictable plan collapse. His usually calm demeanor was replaced with tension. They adapted to every measure, Virax whispered. Ryler clenched his claws. And they learned from it. They took our attack and turned it into their advantage. Every drone we sent, every tactic we tried, they improved faster than we can anticipate. Humans are dangerous. Virax looked at him. Commander, are we facing a species that could change the balance of the entire galaxy? Ryler's eyes glimmered with both awe and dread. It seems, yes. This was only the first encounter. If we continue underestimating them, we will regret it. On the plateau, as the twin suns of Zolara dipped toward the horizon, Kalen stood amidst his team. Exhausted but exhilarated, they surveyed the battlefield. Soldiers repaired shields, Leora cataloged energy anomalies, and Terran worked on repurposed drones, turning enemies into allies. Kalen addressed his crew. Today the galaxy thought it could surprise us. They thought we were weak. They were wrong. Every species in the Andrax galaxy will learn this lesson eventually. Humans survive. Humans adapt. Humans prevail. And with that, the first true demonstration of human ingenuity on Zolara ended, not with surrender, not with defeat, but with a lesson burned into the minds of those who dared to underestimate them. The humans had survived the surprise attack. The galaxy as a whole would soon realize the full extent of their power. The learning curve. The aftermath of the surprise attack left the humans on Zolara both vigilant and energized. The plateau, once a quiet landing site, now bore the scars of battle. Charred ground from energy discharges, twisted crystalline formations from the crash of Xylan drones and scorched vegetation. Yet the humans moved among the chaos with purpose, methodically analyzing, repairing, and learning. Captain Kalen stood on a jagged ridge overlooking the camp, his arms crossed. The wind carried the faint eerie hum of Zolara's energy currents, a sound that had become almost comforting after weeks on the planet. His blue eyes scanned the horizon, noting every shift in light, every flicker of movement in the alien forests below. Today was just the beginning, he said softly, mostly to himself. They attacked, we adapted. But we need to learn faster, be ready for anything the galaxy throws at us next. Leora moved alongside Terran, who had already begun modifying captured drones. The engineer's hands flew over the machines, rewiring circuits and integrating Zolara's unique energy patterns into the drone's operating systems. These drones aren't just weapons, Terran said, eyes alight with excitement. They're learning platforms. Every movement we observe, every maneuver they attempt, we can study and improve upon. We'll turn their own technology against them. Leora nodded, her amber eyes focused on a portable scanner. The Xylan think they've tested us. But this planet, it's teaching us lessons they've never imagined. Energy fields, magnetic fluctuations, reactive minerals, it's all data waiting for us to decode. Kalen joined them, placing a hand on the scanner's interface. We don't just survive. We learn, we evolve, and we apply it faster than anyone else. That's what makes humans different. The human crew divided into teams, each tasked with a different objective. Soldiers ran drills, not just in combat but in strategy, using holographic simulations of Xylan attacks combined with the unpredictable terrain of Zolara. Leora and Terran led scientific expeditions into the forests, cataloging flora and fauna, mapping energy fields, and testing the limits of human technology against the reactive properties of the planet. Kalen watched from the ridge, a faint smile playing across his face. Humans thrived on challenges, and every obstacle Zolara presented became a lesson. The storms that had been predicted to obliterate the camp were instead harnessed to recharge energy shields. The predator creatures that lurked in the bioluminescent forests became subjects for study, revealing patterns of movement that humans could anticipate and counter. From orbit, the Xylan fleet observed the humans with increasing unease. Commander Ryler's scaled face betrayed a rare tension, his normally silver eyes narrowed into slits. They learn too quickly, he muttered. Every engagement, every encounter, they turn it into a lesson. They are evolving. Virax's wings twitched nervously. Commander, are they adapting at a rate no species should be capable of? Ryler's jaw tightened. Yes, and that makes them dangerous. Every species in the galaxy follows predictable patterns. Not humans. Humans learn from every failure, every observation, every encounter. They convert adversity into strength. He paced the deck of the Orvax, his mind racing. If we underestimate them again, we risk everything. Back on the surface, Kalen gathered the crew for a briefing. Holographic projections of Zolara hovered above the table, showing drone flight paths, energy flux maps, and topographical anomalies. Lesson 1, the Xylan underestimated our adaptability, Kalen began. Lesson 2, Zolara is a teacher, not a threat. Every energy surge, every storm, every moving predator is an opportunity to learn. Lesson 3, we do not fear adaptation. We embrace it. Leora stepped forward, pointing at the projections. By analyzing their drones and weapons, we can anticipate attacks before they happen. Every failure they attempt, every assumption they make about us, becomes a stepping stone. We turn their strength into our advantage. Terran grinned. And with the reactive drones and energy conduits, we can push that advantage even further. By the time they strike again, we'll be ready. Over the next few days, the humans' learning accelerated exponentially. Soldiers trained with adaptive drills that mimicked Xylan combat patterns, evolving tactics in real time. Engineers tested new devices that drew energy from Zolara's unique fields, creating shields, weapons, and sensors far beyond what the humans had initially imagined. Leora's research yielded breakthrough data on the planet's bioenergy flow, which allowed humans to predict movements of both wildlife and energy fluctuations. Kalen observed it all, a quiet satisfaction settling over him. They expect weakness, he said to himself. They expect us to struggle. But humans, we adapt, we overcome, we dominate. Every obstacle is a lesson, every threat an opportunity. That is the human advantage. In orbit, Ryler's frustration grew. The humans had repelled the initial attack, and now they were learning from it faster than any strategy he could devise. They are not just responding, they are anticipating, he said, voice low. Every move we've made, every tactic we've tried, they've countered and improved upon. This is unprecedented. Virax, for once silent, finally asked, Commander, can they be stopped? Ryler's eyes gleamed with a mixture of awe and fear. I don't know, but I intend to find out. If they continue like this, the Andrax galaxy itself will never recover from underestimating humans. On the surface, humans continued their work with relentless focus. They modified captured drones to assist with environmental mapping, used energy conduits to power shields, and experimented with adaptive weapons that changed output depending on enemy behavior. Every action reinforced their understanding of the planet, the enemy, and themselves. Kalen walked among his crew, noting their ingenuity and resilience. This is the learning curve, he said quietly. We take every mistake, every obstacle, every attack, and we use it to get stronger. The galaxy may not understand humans yet, but it will. Leora looked up from her scanner, eyes shining with excitement. Captain, we're not just surviving here. We're growing, evolving. Every day we become more capable. Kalen nodded. Exactly. And that is why the galaxy underestimates us at its own peril. By the end of the week, the humans had transformed their camp from a fragile outpost into a fortress of learning. Every system, every piece of technology, every strategy was improved, adapted, and refined. They had turned Zolara into both a classroom and a proving ground, mastering the energy of the planet itself while preparing for the next encounter. From orbit, Ryler watched the changes with grim acknowledgement. The humans were no longer a minor curiosity, they were a rapidly evolving force, capable of turning any challenge into an advantage. They learn faster than any species should, he muttered. And each lesson they take makes them stronger than the last. This is human evolution in action. Below, Kalen and his crew looked up at the twin suns, their eyes alight with determination. The galaxy had underestimated them. But from this day forward, no one would make that mistake again. The counterstrike. The humans had learned, adapted, and transformed their temporary outpost on Zolara into a fortress that reflected not just their ingenuity, but their unwavering determination. They had turned every challenge the planet and the Xylan presented into a lesson, mastering energy flows, wildlife behavior, and the alien technology left behind by their attackers. Yet Captain Kalen knew that learning alone was not enough. Observation had its limits. Now it was time to act. Kalen, Leora said, breaking the early morning silence, the Xylan are still in orbit. They're studying us, waiting for a weakness. But I don't think they realize we've anticipated their next move. Kalen's gaze swept over the plateau where soldiers patrolled, engineers adjusted adaptive energy shields, and drones, once enemies, now hummed in synchronized motion, their circuits reprogrammed to human specifications. Then it's time to give them a lesson they'll never forget, he replied. In orbit, Commander Ryler observed the humans with mounting frustration. The first attack had failed spectacularly, leaving the humans unscathed and more prepared than ever. Now they had turned the planet's energy into a weapon and a shield simultaneously. They're not just defending, they're preparing to strike, Virax noted, his tone edged with unease. They've transformed a defensive position into a launch pad. That's highly unconventional. Ryler's silver eyes narrowed. It's more than unconventional. It's dangerous. No species should be capable of this level of strategic evolution. Humans, they are unprecedented. Kalen initiated the counterstrike at the zenith of Zolara's twin suns, when energy flows across the planet reached their peak. Using data Leora had compiled over days of observation, the humans predicted the Xylan fleet's likely approach vectors, calculating not just positions, but likely tactics based on previous engagements. Positions. Kalen commanded. Adaptive shields active. Drones on patrol routes Delta and Sigma. Soldiers to perimeter nodes. Leora, Terran, prepare the energy conduits for maximum output. We strike fast and decisively. The crew moved with precision that would have impressed even the most disciplined Xylan officer. Every soldier, engineer, and scientist had internalized Kalen's orders before he had even finished speaking. Humans were efficient, but unpredictably so, a combination the galaxy had rarely seen. The Xylan fleet descended, confident in their numerical superiority. Dozens of sleek energy-armed ships cut through Zolara's atmosphere, their weapons glowing menacingly. Commander Ryler expected the humans to react defensively, to retreat or falter. But the humans did not flinch. Kalen activated the energy conduits beneath the plateau, drawing power directly from Zolara's reactive minerals and focusing it into an electromagnetic shield network. Pulses of energy spread outward in concentric waves, disrupting Xylan targeting systems mid-approach. Deploy the counter-drones. Kalen shouted. The captured Xylan drones, now reprogrammed and optimized, surged forward like swarms of intelligent predators. They intercepted incoming fighter craft, using the same tactics the Xylan had trained them for, but now turned against their creators. Ships collided, weapons misfired, and chaos rippled through the fleet. In orbit, Ryler's confidence shattered. Impossible, he bellowed. They've adapted again. Every countermeasure we anticipated, they've neutralized it before we even acted. Virax's wings twitched nervously. Commander, their speed of adaptation, it's unlike anything in the galaxy. How do they do it? They're humans, Ryler said grimly. And humans do not wait for the galaxy to dictate their fate. They take it. Every encounter, every threat, they use it to grow stronger. And now they are stronger than us. On the plateau, Kalen watched as the human counterstrike unfolded. The energy shields shimmered, repelling Xylan blasts, while drones attacked with calculated precision. Soldiers navigated the terrain like chess pieces, exploiting every ridge and crater, using Zolara's unique energy flows to enhance their weapons. Every move we make teaches them nothing, Kalen said calmly, eyes scanning the battlefield. Every move they make teaches us everything. Terran grinned, adjusting a drone's energy output. It's working. They can't predict us and we can anticipate them. Every drone they send strengthens our strategy. Leora added, they think they're controlling the battlefield, but we've already turned it into ours. The humans' counterstrike reached its zenith when Kalen personally led a squadron of adaptive drones to intercept the Xylan flagship. The vessel was massive, bristling with energy cannons and reinforced hull plating, but the humans used their environment and technology to their advantage. Kalen guided the drones into a carefully calculated assault pattern, luring the flagship toward a field of reactive minerals. The Xylan ship fired blindly, each blast triggering energy surges that amplified the humans' countermeasures. Finally, with a precise burst of accumulated planetary energy channeled through the drones, the flagship was disabled, its systems crashing in a cascade of sparks and molten metal. Ryler's ship hovered above the chaos, his silver eyes wide with disbelief. They've destroyed the flagship? In minutes? Using the planet's energy? Virax's voice trembled. They are not just fighting back, they are orchestrating the entire battle. They've turned our weapons against us and our numbers into a weakness. How is this possible? Ryler's jaw tightened. They are humans, and humans do not just survive, they dominate. Underestimated them. A mistake I will not survive twice. With the flagship down, the remaining Xylan vessels retreated, disorganized and wary of further losses. The humans pursued only minimally, conserving their resources, knowing that patience and observation were as lethal as any weapon. The counterstrike was complete. Zolara's plateau was secure. The humans had demonstrated not just survival, but mastery over both environment and enemy. Kalen stood among his crew, looking out at the distant horizon. The twin suns reflected off the reactive minerals, bathing the landscape in golden light. He addressed the team, his voice steady and inspiring. Today the galaxy thought it could control us. They thought numbers, technology, and experience would overwhelm us. They were wrong. Humans do not just adapt. We learn, we grow, we overcome. The galaxy has been given its first lesson in what it means to underestimate humanity. And it will not forget it. Leora and Terran exchanged a glance, pride shining in their eyes. We've done more than defend ourselves, Leora said softly. We've shown them our potential. Every challenge, every attack, they've strengthened us. Terran grinned. And the best part? We're just getting started. Above, Ryler and the Xylan fleet retreated into orbit, their minds haunted by the same realization that had begun creeping into every corner of the Andrax galaxy. Humans were a force unlike any other. Fast learners, resourceful, adaptive, and unrelenting, they were species that could change the rules of engagement entirely. The counterstrike was over, but the war for respect, dominance, and recognition had only just begun. And humanity had already won the first, and most important, battle, proving that they were not to be underestimated. Recognition. The aftermath of the counterstrike left the Xylan fleet in retreat, scattered across Zolara's orbit. Ships that had once projected confidence now drifted, damaged and uncertain. Commander Ryler's scaled face reflected a rare tension as he stared at the scene below. Humans had not only defended their position, they had turned the battlefield into a demonstration of mastery. They've done more than survive, Ryler murmured to Virax, his second in command. They've dominated. Every tactic we deployed, every calculation we made, they've anticipated, countered, and exceeded it. They are exceptional. Virax's wings twitched nervously. Commander, we've underestimated them. Entirely. The Andrax galaxy may have never faced a species like this before. Ryler's silver eyes, usually cold and calculating, softened for a brief moment. Yes. We've learned the hardest lesson today: never underestimate humans. On the surface, Captain Kalen and his crew were methodically securing their camp. The plateau, now scarred with the remnants of battle, had become a symbol of human ingenuity. Energy conduits hummed softly, drones patrolled in synchronized patterns, and soldiers ran simulations, preparing for any potential return of the Xylan. Kalen surveyed the activity with quiet satisfaction. They thought numbers would intimidate us. They thought technology alone would decide the outcome. But humans, we thrive under pressure. We turn every challenge into advantage. Leora approached him, holding a tablet displaying energy readings and drone performance data. Captain, their fleet is retreating, but they've already begun analyzing our tactics. They know now that humans are unpredictable, adaptable, and strategic. They've recognized that we're different. Kalen nodded. Recognition is a start. The galaxy now understands that humans are not to be underestimated. But it is not enough for them to fear us. They must respect us. And we will ensure they do. Word of the humans' counterstrike began to ripple across the Andrax galaxy. Reports from scouts and intercepted communications described the inexplicable success of the humans on Zolara. How they had survived impossible attacks, harnessed the planet's energy, and turned Xylan technology against its creators. Many civilizations previously indifferent to humans began paying attention. Traders, explorers, and emissaries paused in their journeys, reconsidering their assumptions about the human species. The Andrax galaxy had always been a place where survival was dictated by power and numbers, but humans had demonstrated something entirely different: intelligence, adaptability, and ingenuity beyond expectation. Within the Xylan Council, debates raged. Some insisted on a full-scale assault to crush the humans before they could gain further advantage. Others, more cautious, suggested diplomatic overtures, fearing the unpredictable consequences of underestimating such a species. Ryler, leaning against the observation deck, spoke with rare authority. They are not merely survivors, they are innovators. They learn faster than any species we know. Every encounter strengthens them. Every attack we have made has only made them stronger. Virax, uneasy, asked, Commander, are they capable of threatening the balance of power in the Andrax galaxy? Ryler's eyes gleamed with a mixture of awe and apprehension. Perhaps. But even if they are, we cannot fight them the same way we fight any other species. Humans are different. And that difference is why the galaxy must now respect them, or face consequences we cannot anticipate. Meanwhile, on Zolara, the humans prepared for the next stage of their mission. Soldiers trained tirelessly, now integrating adaptive combat strategies with environmental awareness. Engineers like Terran experimented with more advanced modifications on captured drones, turning enemy weapons into extensions of human capability. Leora continued her research, decoding Zolara's energy systems and applying them to shields, power arrays and tactical simulations. Kalen addressed the team, his tone calm yet commanding. Today the galaxy has seen the first proof of human ingenuity in action. But our work is not done. Recognition is just the beginning. Adaptation, resilience, and strategy will define the human legacy in this galaxy. The Xylan have learned they cannot underestimate us. Other civilizations will follow. And we must be ready for every encounter. The humans nodded, understanding that survival alone was not enough. They had to demonstrate capability, ingenuity, and dominance in a galaxy that judged worth by strength, cunning, and adaptability. The recognition of humans spread like wildfire. Envoys from other star systems cautiously approached, seeking alliances, sharing information, or merely observing the extraordinary species that had defied expectation. Some came in fear, wary of human adaptability. Others came in curiosity, hoping to understand the mechanisms behind their astonishing evolution in real-time combat and strategy. Kalen welcomed the observers, not with arrogance but with calm confidence. Humans do not seek to dominate for the sake of power. We adapt, we learn, and we endure. Those who recognize our abilities may find allies. Those who underestimate us, learn the consequences. Leora recorded every interaction, her analytical mind noting the response of each species to human presence. They are cautious, she noted. Some are respectful, some fearful, and some eager to test boundaries. But every civilization has observed one universal truth. Humans are not predictable, and humans are strong in ways they cannot yet quantify. Terran, tinkering with a drone, added with a grin, and they won't be able to predict us anytime soon. That's the beauty of it. In the orbiting remnants of the Xylan fleet, Ryler made his final decision for now. The humans were to be watched, respected, and approached with caution. Direct confrontation could no longer rely on numbers or brute force alone. Humans had redefined the rules of engagement in the Andrax galaxy. They are not just survivors, Ryler muttered. They are architects of their own fate. And every lesson we try to teach them will be another brick in their strength. The galaxy will recognize them, or it will suffer the consequences. Below, Kalen looked out at Zolara's horizon, where the twin suns began to set in a wash of violet and gold. His crew moved about the plateau, fully aware that the galaxy had just been shown a glimpse of human potential. Recognition is only the beginning, he said softly. We survive, we adapt, we learn, and eventually, we will lead. The galaxy underestimated us. And they will remember it forever. For the first time, a ripple of understanding passed through distant civilizations. Humans were no longer a minor curiosity, they were a force that demanded respect, attention, and caution. The Andrax galaxy had learned a critical lesson. The smallest species could wield the greatest power when guided by intelligence, ingenuity, and relentless adaptability. And humanity, standing tall amidst the alien horizon, had only just begun to leave its mark. A new era. The twin suns of Zolara dipped low over the horizon, casting the plateau in a wash of gold and violet. The air hummed with latent energy, a quiet reminder of the planet's untamed power, now subtly under the influence of the humans. Captain Kalen stood atop a jagged crystalline ridge, surveying his team as they moved with calm efficiency across the battlefield-turned fortress. The humans had survived attacks, adapted to the unpredictable terrain, and turned enemy technology into their advantage. They had proven to the galaxy that human ingenuity, adaptability, and resilience were forces unlike any other. And now, as the dust settled, they were preparing for what came next. Kalen, Leora said, approaching with a portable scanner, the Xylan fleet has retreated, but they're not the only ones watching. Multiple civilizations have detected our activities. Scouts, envoys, even distant warships are observing Zolara. The galaxy knows we're here. Kalen's sharp blue eyes reflected determination. Let them watch. Let them observe. We've shown strength, intelligence, and adaptability. The galaxy underestimated humans for centuries. No longer. Now they will see what it truly means to survive and thrive against all odds. Terran, working on a reprogrammed drone that hummed softly in the background, added with a grin, and the best part? Every species watching thinks they know what we'll do next. And they're wrong. Far above, in the void of space, the Xylan fleet regrouped. Commander Ryler's usually unwavering confidence was replaced with a rare tension. Every analysis showed the same unsettling truth. Humans were evolving faster than any species had before, their strategies adaptive, their tactics unpredictable. They are unlike any species we've faced, Ryler admitted quietly to Virax. Every attack strengthens them. Every encounter teaches them. They are not simply surviving, they are shaping the battlefield to their advantage. Virax's wings trembled slightly. Commander, if they continue at this rate, humans could dominate every system in the Andrax galaxy. Are we prepared for that? Ryler's eyes darkened. We will have to learn fast, or be left behind. The humans are rewriting the rules of engagement. And if the galaxy does not respect them, it will pay the price. On Zolara, humans continued their preparations, but there was no panic, no fear. Every member of the crew moved with confidence earned through battle, observation, and adaptation. Soldiers trained with drones, mastering strategies that even their alien observers would find impressive. Engineers like Terran refined technology, fusing Zolara's energy with human ingenuity. Leora decoded the planet's energy flows, ensuring that humans could predict and manipulate environmental hazards before they became threats. Kalen moved among them, silently proud. We've taken the first steps, he said softly. The galaxy thought we were fragile. They thought we would falter. But humans, we endure, we adapt, and we triumph. This is only the beginning. The news of human triumph and ingenuity spread beyond Zolara. Star systems previously indifferent to humanity began sending cautious envoys, hoping to observe or ally with the species that had reshaped an entire battlefield in days. Traders, explorers, and scholars marveled at the speed of human adaptation, the ingenuity of their strategies, and the unity of their team. Some approached in fear, wary of a species that could outthink and outmaneuver even the most advanced civilizations. Others came in curiosity, seeking knowledge, insight, or alliance. But every observer shared one universal realization: humans were no longer to be underestimated. Kalen addressed his team in the twilight, the glow of Zolara's reactive minerals casting long shadows across the plateau. The galaxy has seen us now. They recognize our capabilities, but recognition alone is not enough. We must continue to adapt, continue to innovate, and continue to demonstrate that humanity is a force to be reckoned with. Every system we touch, every challenge we face will test us. And every time we will grow stronger. Leora nodded. We've already turned challenges into opportunities. The galaxy is learning a lesson they should have learned long ago. Humans are unpredictable, resourceful, and relentless. Terran smirked, tinkering with a drone. And they'll keep learning it. Over and over again. Across the Andrax galaxy, distant civilizations began re-evaluating their assumptions. The Xylan, humbled by their encounter, issued warnings to neighboring systems. Humanity was not a species to be underestimated. Others, curious and ambitious, debated alliances, trade, or observation. Humans were now a central presence in the galaxy's consciousness. Kalen looked out at the horizon, where the twin sun's last rays illuminated Zolara's jagged peaks. This is more than survival, he said softly. This is humanity's moment. A chance to show the galaxy that we are not just capable, we are extraordinary. And this era will belong to us. The humans of Zolara had survived storms, ambushes, and superior technology. They had adapted faster than any alien could predict and had turned every obstacle into an advantage. Now they stood poised at the dawn of a new era, a time where their ingenuity, resilience, and unity would define the galaxy's understanding of strength. The night fell, and the plateau shimmered with the soft glow of energy conduits, drones patrolling in silent precision, and humans moving with purpose. Kalen turned to his team, his expression resolute. The galaxy will continue to challenge us. There will be trials, wars, and tests that push us to our limits. But remember this: humans endure. Humans adapt. Humans prevail. And no matter the odds, we will leave our mark on every system, every star, and every civilization we encounter. Leora, Terran, and the soldiers nodded, understanding the weight of their words. This was not just survival, it was legacy. Above, distant starships observed silently, their sensors recording every detail, every tactic, every innovation. The message was clear: humanity was a force unlike any other in the Andrax galaxy. The era of underestimation was over. The era of human ingenuity had begun. Captain Kalen raised his gaze to the stars. The endless expanse of the galaxy stretched before him, full of challenges, unknowns, and opportunities. We didn't just survive, he whispered. We've shown the galaxy what it truly means to be human. And this is only the beginning of our story. Zolara's twin moons rose, bathing the plateau in silvery light. The humans stood united, ready for whatever the galaxy would throw at them next. The Andrax galaxy had underestimated humans, and it would never make that mistake again. A new era had begun. Humanity would endure, adapt, and prevail. And the stars themselves would bear witness.